Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Canine Connection podcast. Today, Lori and I are going to talk about, well, what should we even call it? I guess just
Being more
adapting,
flexible. Being flexible during training sessions with multiple people involved.
right? Or even one person, right? Like, we just need, first of all, again, I go back to the same old saying, it's not world peace. When we train, it's very hard to find people to train with, right? And sometimes even people will use like family members or just like random people they can coerce into
Yeah.
helping
Forward.
us out. Or we go to show and goes, which are run by volunteers. Now, let's clarify what volunteers are. They're human beings just like us. They actually have lives. They have things they would like to do with their time. They probably work. They probably have obligations and things they need to take care of. They decided that they were going to take this chunk of time out of their lives and volunteer it so that we can benefit from it. So I think that's really important for people to remember that even if you're doing a show and go and you paid $10 for your entry or whatever the case, that person is not making any money.
Yep.
That person is not real if oh, they get a free run. Okay, people, it's worth 10 bucks. What can buy 10 bucks nowadays? Can't even buy you like lunch anymore, right? Like, so they're volunteering their time. So what we have to learn is A, to appreciate that these people are doing this task, whatever it is, and B, understand that they may not do it exactly to our expectations. Oh my goodness. And that's perfectly fine. They're doing the best they can. We need to take advantage of that. So I had girls that worked for me when I had the kennel. And they would be the judge and they're just making stuff up because they don't know what they're supposed to say. Like
Right.
this and they're young, so they're like trying to be funny. They actually were pretty funny. And it didn't matter. I was so happy that I had a human that was going to stand there and give my dog partial ring picture, that is going to say words to get my dog used to hearing words, that was going to move around and provide a distraction. Maybe their timing wasn't perfect. Maybe the angle wasn't exactly what I would have wanted, but it was okay. I was still getting benefit from it, and maybe sometimes I wasn't getting maybe I had to adjust my plan a little bit. Maybe I was like, "Well, I wanted to work on pressure, but this is kinda not headed in the right direction. You know what? Let me just let this person serve as a distraction. Let me use them for distraction work." There is always benefit there. It is
Mhm.
up to us to be mentally flexible, right? And say, how can I leverage this situation so that maybe even if I don't get what I originally wanted out of it, but I will get something out of it.
Mhm. It's that flexibility piece that's like key. You have to be able to be flexible because if you're not, then A, you are going to either get frustrated, upset, angry, which is not going to be beneficial to your training session whatsoever. Um, and unless you absolutely, like you're right, have the perfect training partner, which you won't, they're going to mess things up. They're going to not get it right. They're not going to understand something clearly anywhere, anytime, right? And that's the piece where, like we talked about, is you need to be able to flip that mindset and be like, it's fine. This is actually good for me because you know what? Things happen in the ring anyway that become that we talk about this all the time, that come unexpectedly, and we need to think on the fly really quickly, which actually like that was one of my big thing. I trained with somebody for a long time who was a novice handler at the time, and they didn't know all the things in open and utility. They didn't know the judge verbiage. They didn't know where to stand. And it actually or they would just mess up the healing pattern. It would be totally not typical. And it really actually was great. I loved it because it made me have to really stay focused and in the present at the time. It was actually really beneficial. So you need to be able to flip your mindset and either divert, plan, and adjust like you talked about, or, use it as a strategy, 100% for your mental
And
game.
there's so much. It's so funny when you said that, immediately made me think of, like, a couple people that I train with in the past couple years that were total novice, beginners, and I call
Yeah.
this healing pattern: forward, slow, fast, halt, left turn, right, and I'm like, "Huh," right? And I'm like, "Oh, this is"
Just got hard.
and I'm like, "This is really good because it's making me think, it's making me
Yeah.
pay attention, it's making my dog think and pay attention." So, you have 2 ways to go. In that moment, you can go like,
Ugh.
"Ugh," and then you can say to the person, "Look, that's not how it goes." You can act like Zaina and say, "Excuse me, you're doing it all wrong." Or you could say, "Oh, this is really good. This is like helping me in several ways. It's helping me, it's helping my dog." Right? Or they'll stand in the wrong spot or they'll do something odd. Great. Right? I want
Yep.
things to be like, unusual. I remember years ago, I used to train with people, everything had to be precise. And I would just, throw the jumps out there, like directed jumping. I
Oh,
never
yeah.
measured the space between the jumps ever, right?
Yep.
So sometimes they were really far apart, sometimes they were really close together. Ah, whatever, wherever they ended up, they ended up. And I was like, "You don't even know how to set up a utility ring." I'm like, "Oh, apparently I don't, I guess, right?" Well,
Yeah.
meanwhile, fast forward, I'm at this trial and it was like this odd shaped ring. It wasn't like, here we go. It wasn't perfect. It was in regulation. And the judge set it up in a way that the jumps were very wide apart. And a
Yep.
lot of dogs messed up the directed jumping.
Well,
Did
fast
mine?
forward too to the NOC last year, that one ring that wasn't set up correctly. Remember that? And all the dogs had a lot of trouble in it because it wasn't. It was definitely
Right. Yeah. It was like over to the side a little
Yep.
bit and the
Yep.
stanchion wasn't perfectly centered. Yeah. And dogs were like, I think they were missing the jump too, right? I
They
forget
were.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
And my dogs don't because they're not used to seeing the exact it's a proofing. It's a form of proofing. It's a form of
It is.
strengthening your dog's understanding of the exercise.
Exactly, exactly. And a little bit of, like patterning everything to be absolutely exactly the same, and then the second that it's not, 'cause one day it is not going to be perfect, your dogs will, fall apart, the wheels will come off because of that. Or you will, like, that
Right.
unexpected thing happens and you don't know how to handle it because, "Oh my god, it's not the way it's supposed to be."
Yeah, and so it's like that with any scenario. I remember when I was getting Tyler ready to go to England and I knew it was going to be mass chaos there. So one of my things I had set for myself was like, a couple times a week, I had to take him to a new spot, and preferably it was busy. So one day, I took him to a new spot, and I was like, "Oh, darn it!" It was like really empty, and I was like, "Ugh, now I have to find another spot." And I'm like, "I don't even know if I have time." Like, you know what? I'll just do it here. And it was great because it was really quiet. And then in the middle of doing something, a door opened and he totally lost attention. So it was beneficial. It was not
Yep,
what I had planned. It was not what I had wanted initially, but I was like, "I'll just do it anyway," and surprise, it turned out to be a great training opportunity, right?
yep,
So it's that you just have to say, "All right, it didn't work out the way I wanted, but I how can I still get benefit off of this?" Like, I've gone to, a match, and I would really like the judge to stay close on fronts, for example, and I'll say, I'll try to give the best instructions possible, person either didn't understand it, whatever, didn't get it, just wasn't staying close. So at that moment, I had two choices: get frustrated and annoyed because that's what I had wanted to work on, and now it wasn't working out, or pivot. So I pivoted. I was like, okay, what else can if I can't work on that,
Right.
I'm gonna just focus on something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think, going back to the whole volunteer thing, it's just, I don't know, like, I see it a lot. Like, I hold matches here a lot, and not I mean, it's pretty rare that all or any of the volunteers that are happening to, like, spend the day stewarding or judging know everything, and, there's times where I can pick up on when people are, like, they're hesitant to go in the ring knowing that that person doesn't know how to, call all the things correctly, and it's just I definitely give a gentle reminder to them, A, you should be happy there's someone in the ring at all, and B, be flexible about it because at the end of the day, like, if you can't learn to be flexible in dog training, because fucking shit happens all the time when we're training
Mhm.
dogs, like, yeah, that's like a skill set right there. You just need to be flexible training dogs, period. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and you need to think like, sometimes people feel like, okay, in this scenario, I need to get like the full ring picture, like
Yeah,
exactly like it will be in a trial. And you're not going to get that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, um, the things I need to prepare my dog are like in categories, right? So there's like distraction work.
yeah,
I can do that out in the environment, right? So I can go different places, stores, parks, etc., and just get general distraction work there. Pressure work, some of it I can use the environment, but sometimes I need a person to do specific things. So when
yeah,
I have access to a person, then that's what I'm going to target whenever I have that opportunity, right?
right,
When I have a match, then I need to use that to work on things that I cannot work on in the environment or if I only have one person. But I'm not going to get everything in that session. So I have to kind of say, okay, like I'm going to work on transitions or letting my dog see ring picture and reward in that or letting my dog see ring picture and then help them.
yeah,
How can I use the unique characteristics of this opportunity and work on a piece or two,
because
right?
there's always going to be something to work on, right?
Right. And you have to kind of say, and you're not going to be able to get like
Everything.
all the characteristic, like, because in a trial, you're going to have the distractions and the smells and the sounds and the dogs and the people and the judge and this and that. And you're not going to get all that.
Yeah,
So you have to pull those pieces out and say, like, and then people go, well, how do you go to a store or like, how do you work on ring entrances? Or for example, like, I'm like, "Oh, Tractor Supply
yeah,
and, garden centers, they give me ring entrances. They have, like, little areas, there's
yeah,
aisles, there's
I
gates, I mean, it's
equipment.
out there. You just
Yep,
have to think outside the box
right, exactly.
and, like, look for that opportunity. You can find places, like, in playgrounds and, um, and then people are like, "Well, how can sure, I can't do every exercise like in a store or in front of a store, but I can do a lot of pieces. I can even chain things together. Like you have to be again like mentally flexible. Like how can I
And
leverage
create
this? Yeah, and even with people, I'm like, well, people stand in line, go, work around those people. A lot of times you'll go to places and the employees will stand there and watch you. If you say, "Hey, can I just I'm just gonna heal close to you," or whatever the case, they're like, "Okay," they don't care most of the
Yeah,
time, you know?
yeah. Right, right. Yeah, and so it can't just be always dependent on the perfect situation, you know? That's like, um, I
Right,
think
you
you
have to
drive
be
yourself nuts, you know? Like,
yeah, and use kids if you have access to kids, oh my god, like,
oh, yeah,
um, some
yeah,
of my students, like my one I love her. Her granddaughter, I can't even, she uses her all the time. She's doing cartwheels and little handstands and, like, you
yep,
know, because 'cause they're kids, they're free, right?
yeah,
Like,
totally.
they're
Inhibited by
not bound by whatever craziness adults are bound by, um and then, "Well, no one's ever gonna do a cartwheel in the ring." Well, no, probably not, because most of us that are showing are, like, 90, but, it doesn't matter that we're not doing cartwheels.
Dear doesn't
It's the unpredictability of it, right? Like, it's perfect. I would
Yes!
love I'm like, "Hey, anyone in my area, you got kids or grandkids?
Cartwheel their asses
Hello?
over.
Please send them my way." Because they're great and you can teach them things, and again, even if they don't do it perfect, you know, they hold a little clipboard and who knows what words they're even
Right,
saying. Does it
right.
really matter?
They actually get pretty creative themselves. They think it's kinda fun. They, like, go into
Yes.
a total role play.
Well, the girls that were, like, in their 20s that worked for me, I loved it. They were so creative and goofy
Yeah,
and silly,
it's like
and
improv.
I was like, "This is so good," because, like, it was completely unpredictable what my dogs were being exposed to and the
Yeah,
stuff they were coming up with, and I remember, like, at the beginning, there was that part of me that came from that tradition where I'd be like, "Oh my god, they're doing it all wrong," and then I
yeah,
was like,
right.
"Wait, who cares? Like,
Yes,
it's okay. It doesn't
right?
matter." Like, they're getting really good training out of this. Like, they're getting good distraction, they're getting variability, they're getting pressure work.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, be mentally flexible.
So, for sure.
And
And
then
yeah.
we have to understand too that with a lot of people, when we're explaining things to them, especially if they're not even training dogs or if they're really new, like, we're like, blah, 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 blah. And we may as well be speaking like
Yeah,
French.
yeah.
Like, say
No idea.
what?
Yeah,
They don't know what any of it means. Come, like, walk towards my dog. Well, you better be pretty gosh darn specific.
yeah.
In this direction, facing this way, when the dog is coming this like, there's a lot of moving
Instruction.
parts.
There is. There absolutely is.
And yeah, I remember one time I was doing articles at the supermarket, and so people started watching, and then this guy's like, "Can I put one out?"
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Some
You said that.
stranger?" Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay," and then I'm like, "Alright, I guess."
This is
And I
great.
forget which dog it was. They're looking and they're hunting and hunting, and I'm like, "Something's wrong," because my dog
Long.
it can't find the fucking article, right? And he had put it, like, around it wasn't even in the pile, and it wasn't out of the pile, it was, like, around this, like, barrier. It's like, "Oh my god."
That's great.
Because finally I was like, "Well, where is it?" He's like, "Well, it's over there." I'm like, "Oh my god."
That is great. Serves you right, Petra.
But I didn't say, "Put it in the pile." He probably wouldn't even know
You
what the pile
assume.
was, like,
What's a pile? Pile of what?
"Pile of what?" Like, he didn't know. I think I got sucked in because I did one time at Walmart. This was so long ago because I had Tyler. I remember clear as day. I'm doing the articles and I would send it and then tell him wait and go put the article in the pile. And then he found it. And then I sent it the next one. And the guy pushing the carts came over and he held his hand out. And it was Tyler. I was like, "You can't even if it goes awry, he'll recover." Like, Tyler was very resilient. So I'm like, "I don't know, whatever." I hand him the article, and he put it in the pile. He knew. He had watched. He knew as Tyler goes out, finds our but meanwhile, the fact that he had, like, come up, stood there, taken the article, Tyler was like, "Oh, this is the real thing." Was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is great. Like, this is perfect."
right?
So, that went really well. So, I think I was probably a little falsely optimistic the next
Thinking how the guys would do it.
time.
Um,
But, like, I've done stuff in front of, like, the quick check and the high school guys are hanging out smoking, whatever, and then they're like, "Wow, look at that." And then I'm like, "Oh, good." I'm like, can you just stand there? Can you just move over here? Can you just wave your arms?" And they're like, "Sure." So you just have to, like I said, think outside the box, be
be flex
creative.
yeah, and be nice, gosh, please be nice to people.
Yes, be nice and be patient, like and
Yeah,
it's that whole I think it's because, we come in with a plan or we come in with an agenda, um, and then when it doesn't go that way, we
you
get
get frustrated.
frustrated,
Yeah,
you know? Um, I was gonna say something else. Oh, like and 2, sometimes you might not even realize in the moment that if it if it went a little bit, differently than you had planned, it might actually have ended up being more beneficial. Or like some people will say, oh, like somebody asked me this weekend, like, well, there won't actually be balloons in the ring, right? And I'm like, no. But if my dog can do command discrimination in the corner with stuff going on next in the ring next to it and balloons hanging over their head and hitting their tail and blah, 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 then and they can do it happily and confidently,
right,
then when things are what that could happen at
right,
a trial will
bad
happen,
thing. Yeah,
the dog will be okay with that.
right,
So, the whole when people say, "Well, that's not ever gonna happen." "Well, why would I do that?" "Well, there's never gonna be 2 dogs in the ring." "Well, that's not gonna happen." No, it's not.
right,
But challenges are challenges, and if you
right,
create challenges that your dog can win and overcome, then when your dog is in the ring, they're gonna be really well prepared.
right. It's just the whole idea of making things hard for the dog, however you do it, creating little scenarios, challenges, so that it's gonna be really harder than it probably will be, so that your dog can overcome them.
Right. Yeah, and so that's what it should be about. So if you're fortunate enough to get a helper, remember that you're fortunate because for somebody that trains alone a lot,
Yeah,
you know,
a lot,
um,
yeah.
these situations are worth their weight in gold. And if I go somewhere and there's a training situation or a match or a run through or whatever the case, or recently I had seen this post where somebody was like, they went to a match and they thought they were supposed to be using food, but they were told they couldn't use food. And that was ridiculous and this and that and whatever. You know what?
Your life was over.
Yeah.
God.
So either leave if it's so horrible and you can't adapt, then leave. Or how about you don't bring food in the ring? And how
Right,
about you leave it outside the ring? And then when you need to reward your dog, just go outside the ring and then go back in.
exactly.
Or how about you use a toy? Or how about you just praise your dog? Or how about you say, all right, I'm going to work on something different, right?
Right.
Like, what else could I work on?
That'll work in this situation.
Exactly, right? And say to yourself, "Okay, it wasn't what I had planned, but I still got something out of it. My dog still got something out of it." And turn it into something positive. And what are you accomplishing by putting that negativity out there? Like, well, this happened and they should have let me use food and why didn't they? And how come is it that way? Look, it's their right to do whatever the hell they want. If they have a building and they own it or they rent it and they're running an event, they are allowed to set whatever rules they want. And
Mhm.
you have the option to either follow those rules or don't go. And if you go, even if it wasn't what you planned or whatever, you need to still be nice and just say, "Oh, okay, I didn't realize, but all right, I'll pivot. I'll come up with a
Figure it out.
different plan."
Yeah. Or you can just get the hell out and go home.
Or you can leave and go home. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's not good for the sport. It's not, like I know in our area, we used to have back in the day, we had so many matches. I could do 2 matches a weekend almost every weekend. That's how many places we had that did matches or show and goes, whatever you wanna call them. Now
Yeah.
they're a handful. They literally book out like 6 months ahead. It's insanity because there's not enough, and we're a fairly dense population in
Mm.
terms of in the obedience people throughout the country, like, the Northeast is pretty dense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that want matches and show and goes, there aren't that many. Training parties, even training or even just schools, there aren't that many, like, classes to go to, right?
Yep.
So if you are in a situation where you have access to something, like, then you need to be really grateful, and if you make it uncomfortable for the volunteers, then guess what? Less volunteers,
Yep.
even less show and goes, even
Yep.
less training opportunities. Like, we were at your building this past weekend for 3 days, like, volunteers are coming in and spending the whole day and some of them for multiple days, and some of them drove far,
They did. They
and,
did.
like, they worked their dogs a little bit,
Yeah.
like, that is a tremendous sacrifice,
Yeah.
like, and we have to appreciate that, and at that point, I don't care what they are or aren't doing, what they're saying, I don't care if they're not loud enough, if they're too loud, if they say the words backwards, if they call the
Yeah.
healing pattern upside down. I don't really care. I'm just like, "Holy cow, like, what an opportunity to have a bunch of people in the same building, tons
Yeah.
of distractions, judge and steward in every ring." Like, what an opportunity,
Yeah.
you
And it's
know?
like yeah, it's like a gift because it's like you said, like, it's really rare to be able to get situations like that. It's hard to even get
Very,
volunteers.
very rare. And, it's nice if everyone understands that, if everyone appreciates that, if everybody just says thank you to the volunteers, if everyone's just nice to them,
Yeah.
um, just lets them know they're appreciated. And just the whole place then just has a general vibe of like everybody's happy,
Yeah.
everybody's supporting one another. I mean, having a mimosa doesn't hurt, you know. We had mimosas the one morning.
Sure
But
should.
in general, but I mean, it's just common courtesy.
Yeah.
Like everybody's helped people, right? And like when we help someone, we're not like I know when I help someone with whatever it is, I don't want anything back. You
Right.
know,
Right.
if they just say thank you, that's it. You don't even need to write me a card. Just say thank you. I'm good. Like I'm not doing it for that. But that thank you goes a long way,
Yeah.
right? If you act like you're entitled to it, or if you act like you don't even appreciate it, well, then I might think twice about helping you next time.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So
That's
it's just common courtesy and goes back to the whole be nice to everybody.
mhm.
Um, and you know, the way you interact with your dog too, like if you're just in general mad and frustrated, then people aren't even going to want you in their ring.
True. Very true. Yeah.
So just be nice. We say
I
this
know.
all the time. Why do we have to say this all the time? It's so pathetic.
I know, but because there's not a lot of niceness out there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of niceness. There is a lot of niceness, but
There
there's
is a lot. A lot of times it's just, it's a small percentage and that tends
yeah.
to have a louder voice sometimes.
Yeah.
But knowing that how humans are, it does matter, right? It does matter when like, even a steward at a trial, right? Like everyone can be nice, but the one person that gives them garbage, that's what they'll leave with and they'll remember
Yeah, that
because that's
experience.
human nature.
Yeah.
So I always tell my students, you must thank the stewards. You have to give them grace. Again, sometimes they make mistakes. Like, dude, they're getting stewards. Like, sometimes it's like kids and Boy Scouts or
I
Girl Scouts or
know. I
whatever. Like,
know.
because they don't have anywhere to get stewards, right? So you cannot stand there and complain that something wasn't set up right or that it took the person a long time to do something or whatever the case because they're volunteers.
Right. They're volunteers.
And I think I'm sure that's true with every sport really, right? Like it's true with all
Definitely.
sports. All sports need volunteers to run their trials and to run any practice things they have and um people need to be nice and appreciative and respectful.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, things can't happen without volunteers. It's so true. Like every everything I put on in this building, I would never be able to do it without help. No way. That's a fact. So, you need to just
Yes.
be grateful and kind and appreciative and
And even if it's just random people like that are, the employees at a store and they offer to, you know, be a distraction for you or to give you a
yes.
hand or put something out for you or whatever the case. Like, you know, just be nice to them, thank them, let them know you appreciate it, be respectful of, you know, the place you're working.
Mhm.
Um, so that you set a good example and so that they're okay with other people coming
Yeah.
and don't ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah, you fuckers, don't ruin it.
I know. It's like
Ugh.
I had a student, she's like sends me this video. She took the dog to a store and she's training it in a store, like a hardware store. And this golden retriever comes trotting around the corner, trotting up the aisle, owner nowhere to be seen,
Oh god.
no leash on the dog. And I'm like, oh my God, what is
Oh
even happening
god,
here?
please.
What is even happening here? Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so whatever sport you do, wherever you go, be flexible, be kind, be creative, pivot if you need to pivot.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, what was that?
That was my phone ringing.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have like a little song. We are gonna do a little dance.
Little ditty.
A little ditty for us. We're all gonna la 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 la. Sorry, we're a little punch drunk. We trained all
Yes.
weekend for 3 days. We're like I don't know, I am. I'm
I am
so
too.
tired.
I am too. Then I
I'm like,
taught today, and I was like, "Oh god," I'm like, "Mush." My brain is mush.
well, and that's because, yeah, like, training for 3 days, it takes an enormous amount of concentration.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was real yeah, there's just it was busy and it's chaotic and it requires focus just like our dogs, you
Yeah,
know? Our poor
yeah.
dogs are like, "Oh god, we have to concentrate with all this chaos going on." But, yeah, so I don't
Alright.
know. I guess that's it. That's our
Yeah.
short little ditty for today because 'cause we're fried and that's all we can manage.
A little that's gonna be the word now, the ditty.
We
I love it. Alright. Be
Okay,
nice.
bye
I'll take care
everybody.
now. Bye.